Hello, everyone. This is the Insert Title Show, and I'm your host, Wolf Strife. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about Rome Total War. This came out in 2004, and I think I might have bought it the day it came out. Kind of weird. But my computer at the time really sucked, so I wasn't really able to play the game for a couple of years. But yeah, once I got it working right, I mean, this game, this is a really, really good game. This is probably my favorite Total War game that I've been able to play so far. It just has a lot going for it. I kind of like how your family, or I guess your faction has like a family tree and all that, and then, as you go through the decades and then the centuries, your family gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and generals, daughters, and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, the gameplay is really nice. The variety of units and factions in this game is pretty amazing. You can play as the Romans. Naturally, they're going to be pretty unique onto themselves with the legionaries and stuff like that. You can play as the Greeks, so you get hoplites and Spartans and stuff like that. You can play as the British, which is interesting. The Britons or whatever. Yeah, they're kind of crazy. They got war chariots and swordsmen and stuff. And head hurlers, which is pretty gruesome. You got the Germans, they got big, strong guys wielding axes and stuff. The Spanish are interesting. The Carthaginians, you're going to have war elephants. The Parthians, damn good. Missile cavalry. I think they have cataphracts too. The Pontics are tough. Nice variety of units in that army. The Seleucid Empire. The Egyptians are pretty badass. Just tons of different factions and stuff. It's a very long campaign. In fact, I just went through it again for like the 10th or 12th time a couple of days ago. I think on average it's going to take you about 30 hours to beat the campaign. There's a lot of ground to cover in this game. So, yeah, lots of conquering, and holding on to what you've conquered is almost as hard as taking it from someone else. So, lots and lots to do in this campaign. The custom battles are pretty cool. You can pick the map, you can pick who fights in it, pick their troops, make it as small or as large as you want it to be, and then just have the armies go at it. And you can even save your playlist, like I made a couple of recreations of famous battles, like Alexander the Great's victory at Gaugamela. I made that battle, and a couple other ones. And there's a couple of historical battles you can play, kind of like how you were able to do that in medieval Total War, which is pretty interesting. The game's definitely a step above as far as gameplay goes from the previous Total War games. I think it still holds up pretty well. The sieges are nuts. The battles, are just nuts. The animations and stuff. There was even a History Channel show that I think ran for like a season, where they recreated famous battles throughout history using the Rome Total War engine. So that was a pretty interesting show. I guess I would have been back in '04 too. So yeah, pretty awesome game. The game's got some pretty cool expansion packs, like what was it, Rome Total War Barbarians, which takes place, when does that take place, like in the 200s or 300s AD, and basically goes until, the 500s. In that, it's the late Roman Empire. The empire is actually split in two by that time. You got the Western Empire, which its capital is Rome, I think. Then you got the Eastern Empire, which its capital is Constantinople. And then you got all these barbarian tribes coming into Rome's land. Well, you got the Huns basically chasing all the Gothic people west. like the Saxons, the Franks, the Burgundy, all these famous, important tribes that would go on to shape Europe and eventually the world, being chased out of the east by the Huns, and then you have to fight the Huns, and then you have to pick off all these barbarian tribes. I usually play as the Eastern Roman Empire in that one because the East Empire is definitely in better shape than Rome at this time. I mean, Constantinople has a hell of a lot better economy. It's in a better position to defend itself, and the troops I kind of like more. And besides, I kind of like going Belisarius on these barbarian scum. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mentioned on Medieval Total War that the series kind of has a problem where sometimes it doesn't let you play as who you want to be in the campaign. Like in the regular Rome Total War game, you can't play as the Macedonians in the campaign. So you can't recreate Alexander the Great's conquests and stuff, so that definitely pisses me off. Yeah, you can play as the Greeks, but it's not the same thing as the Macedonians. Like with the Macedonians, you get like companion cavalry and phalanxes and all that stuff. So that kind of bugged me. And on barbarians, you can't play as the British, which really sucks. I mean, you can play as the British in the regular Rome Total War game, but they're not the same as the later Britons. Basically, I think they call them Romano-British or something. Basically, because, Rome conquered Britain, so things are definitely different in Britain at this time in Rome Total War Barbarians. Like, there's even a historical battle where they recreate the, what was that battle? Battle of Baden Hill, I think, which is the battle that supposedly the guy who inspired King Arthur's legend actually fought and saved Romano Britain from the Saxons for a little while. You can actually fight that battle, and that's pretty cool. I think the guy's name was Arthurius or something. Kind of interesting. But yeah, I would have liked to have been able to play as the Romano British during a campaign. I kind of wanted to be like, well, I'm King Arthur now. I'm going to conquer the world, motherfucker. I kind of wanted to do something like that, but oh well, you can't be them in the campaign. The thing as far as those two factions, the Macedonians and the Romano British, I think those are the only two I wanted to play as. All the other ones are fine. Yeah, like I think on the regular Rome Total War campaign, I've beaten the game as Greece and the Julii family, Julius Caesar's family, and the British. So yeah, I usually do the Julii family. Then on Barbarians, I've only done it as the Eastern Roman Empire. And last but not least, there's also a Alexander the Great expansion pack, which is awesome. I mean, I always wanted to recreate Alexander's conquest of the Persian Empire, so this lets you do it. It's pretty simple and pretty easy to do. It's a lot of fun, though. A lot of fun. I definitely wish I would have been able to play this, 10 years ago, but yeah, it was a lot of fun recreating his conquests. And I think Alexander the Great is the greatest man that ever lived, so I'm definitely a big fan of him. So being able to do this was a lot of fun. And they got the great Brian Blessed to narrate it, so that's pretty cool. He's got a great voice. Wish I had that voice. But yeah, I guess that's about it. Rome Total War. Excellent game. And I love the company that makes the Total War games, Creative Assembly. They've done some really, really great games. I would definitely like to play a lot of their other Total War games like Empire Total War, Medieval 2 Total War, Rome 2 Total War. There's even a second Rome Total War game. Shogun 2 Total War. They're kind of running out of those, I guess. But they also made some pretty cool third-person battle games. Spartan Total Warrior, I thought kind of sucked, but everything they did wrong in that one, I thought they did right in Viking. So yeah, check that game out if you have an Xbox 360. Might be on the PS3 too, but I played it on the 360. Got all the achievements too. I even did an episode of that about a year ago, so maybe check that out if you're curious. But yeah, Rome Total War, excellent game. Check it out.